Atlanta, capitala statului american Georgia. Aici s-a născut renumitul activist și militant pentru drepturile civile Martin Luther King. Un oraș unde, cu doar câteva decenii în urmă, segregarea dintre albi și afroamericani și discrepanța dintre bogați și săraci atingeau cote alarmante. Poate sună neobișnuit pentru unii cetățeni moldoveni faptul că în țara cu cea mai puternică economie, o parte a populației trăiește la limita existenței. În ultimii 10 ani, însă, autoritățile locale, ajutate de comunitate, reușesc să lupte eficient împotriva sărăciei și inechității sociale. O luptă ce are și eroii ei, cum e Kwanza Hall, un consilier local cunoscut și venerat de toată lumea în sectoarele sărace din Atlanta. Tatăl său a luptat cot la cot cu Martin Luther King. Să vedem dacă rețeta care funcționează în Atlanta e bună și pentru Republica Moldova, țara cu faima de cea mai săracă din Europa. Doamnelor și domnilor, bun găsit! Îl am în față pe consilierul local Kwanza Hall din orașul Atlanta, responsabil de districtul 2. Mr. Hall, it's very nice to have you here. Good afternoon. A beautiful city, Atlanta. I was really amazed.
Bună ziua and welcome to Atlanta. We're so glad to have you here. It means so much to have guests from as far as you've come.
Do you really think that involving yourself in trying to solve those problems will really change things in the community?
Absolutely, and that's probably the main reason why I've remained in elected office. I've been elected 13 years, and I have to say the reward that I receive from seeing positive change happen is what drives me to want to do more work and to work even harder. Oftentimes you don't really see change happen before your own eyes when you're an elected official. It takes generations, if not, 100 years or decades to get there. For us, we have actually seen things happen in very short order, whether it be the reinvestment in terms of our transportation network with the streetcar and the Beltline, or if it's the new buildings that have come online.
What exactly you're doing as a politician to address the needs of the poor people and the inequality that we have discovered it walking around this district?
A great question, and just so you know, I do consider myself a public servant far more than a politician. I think politicians tend to have that's a negative connotation, and I believe I'm here to serve our citizens. I'm elected to represent their interests. If I want to do business solely, I need to do business solely and not be in politics. But one of the areas and projects that I've worked on is called the Year Boulevard. It is about a mile-long set of housing units that are privately owned, Section 8 housing. The average income is $3,000 a year. The average rent is $12 a month. It's the area with the greatest concentration of poverty in the Southeast United States. As we began to drill in, me and my team, we discovered that there was a huge inequality, and honestly, I have to say, our city, like so many cities in the world, have been great at building buildings, but not good at building people. And, it's just a travesty to see so many families and children who have not had a fair and level playing field to be able to succeed. And what I've been trying to do through the Year Boulevard is to empower families and children to own their own future, not just handouts, hand-ups and strategies and game plans that help people to really move on in life and to get out of the very, very difficult situations that sometimes that families are locked into through a variety of federal, state, county, and local policies that just inhibit their ability for upward mobility.
We're very interested as well to know how do you communicate with people who are living in these conditions?
What we try to do is really focus on providing an environment where the families feel like the city loves them. But that begins with having trust and having a dialogue. Generally, we have to go door to door. We go to the schools and talk to the kids at school and talk to their parents when they're coming to pick them up at school.
One of the secrets of your, let's say, success is knocking on the doors, not only in the electoral period?
Yes, absolutely. I think, if you're in the job of service, you have to be available to your constituents. I do a lot of things that people normally don't do who are elected. I hang out without my tie on with the young people in the restaurants and the bars and the lounges where they go. I ride my bike. I knock on doors with citizens just to find out what matters to them. I go to restaurants, even the places that I don't usually frequent, that I wouldn't normally go. I try to make it a part of my life to go to the gyms where I don't do yoga that much, but there are a lot of people in my district who do. So if I want to be accessible, I want to understand what matters to them, I go to the studios and do the things that they There are a lot of people in Atlanta who may be living in the margins, like the families and children in Bedford Pines, who do a lot in the music industry. There's a relevant voice that we hear in hip-hop music in particular, and that way of expressing and describing the current lifestyle that people are living in, I can identify with that because I had some of those similar challenges growing up as well. I never know what I need to be doing if I'm not available to the constituents. So it's kind of like customer service in a great restaurant. Usually the great restaurants have wait staff that are always available. They're always around. Even when you don't want anything, they're walking by. And you can say, could I have a glass of water? Could I have this? Could I have? So I try to be accessible.
How open are people to your, let's say, social project or other kinds of project? And are they willing to help as well, not only to wait something to change? Absolutely. We are constantly involving and engaging some of the young mothers and fathers and grandmothers and even children who live in the community to be a part of what we do. On Saturdays when we do community cleanups, they come out and they participate with us. And it's a voluntary thing, but I think it speaks volumes when people are willing to come out on a Saturday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning in the cold or in the rain or when it's really hot and clean up their own neighborhood when they could say that's what the city does. So they could just say, I don't care who does it. So that's what we've seen participation. I've seen a lot of successful startups here in this neighborhood, in this poor neighborhood. That some of the people I've known here, they told me that 10 years ago you couldn't even imagine that this would be possible here. Mm-hmm. And anyway, this happened. How was this possible? Well, this was a very intentional effort and plan of those of us who moved into the community years ago. But the planning efforts and the intentional community activism and participation by citizens, young and old, black and white, gay and straight, of all walks of life, everybody started banding together saying, we're going to make this community a great community. And we articulated a vision and a plan, and through the investment of various developers, and they weren't the only people, small restaurant owners, people like the gentleman who owns this building where we are now, they bought these properties and began to clean them up. What advices do you think could work in our country? I'm nowhere near an expert, but what I can say, I've found success by being as honest and authentic and transparent as possible. That makes it really hard because that means you have to look yourself in the mirror and try your damn best, excuse my language, to live up to what you say you're about. And if you can't say that you're about something and live up to it, then don't say it. So just to make clear and sure, open-minded. Yes. Does it mean as well being not corrupted, not taking bribes or giving bribes to somebody? Because in Eastern Europe, the level of corruption is really high. And there are statistics as well. Okay. Well, I don't know all about your culture and the way of life. Well, if that is the norm, then you need to make rules that support the norm. You understand? And maybe that's where there's a rub. If the rule says you're not supposed to do it this way or that way, and people do it that way or that way, then maybe y'all need to change the rules so that you actually are within compliance if that is the way of life. And why do people continue to vote for the person if they don't believe that they are the right people to represent them? It means it's their blame as well. Yes, because the citizens sometimes say, oh, I don't care about the leaders, or the leaders are all bad. The only way it changes is for people to be involved and to be engaged, and for good people to choose to step up, and for other good people to support them. And even the bad people might support good people when they do something really outstanding. Thank you very much, Councilman Hall, for this great interview. Thank you for having me. Pa.